So let's learn about slope-intercept form. Sorry guys if there's some background noise. It's like a pretty busy Saturday and a lot of people are doing yard work, so I'm pretty sure there's like a leaf blower. But anyway, let's focus on the slope-intercept form. So right here we can see this equation, which we can see is y equals mx plus b. So what is this equation? Well, we can see there is the y equals. Well, what is the y equals? Well, you're just always going to have y equals here in your slope-intercept equation. Then you have mx. Well, m right here, we know is m, or slope. And you're always just going to have this x here. And then you're just going to have plus, or really can be minus, depending on what your b value is. But we also know that b here, you might not know this yet, but b is your y-intercept. So in this line, we just have our y-intercept right there. That is b. So we're just going to add in our y-intercept right there. So let's do this real quick here. So let's find 2 points. For an easy line like this, it's just nice to use our intercepts. So we can use our x-intercept here, -2, 0, and right here, 0, -5. So this is our y-intercept, and here is our x-intercept. Okay, so now let's find our slope with rise over run. So our rise will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5. And then our run will be 1, 2, or wait, I don't start ever at your point. So 1, 2. So that is just going to be 5 over 2 for your slope, and you can't simplify that anymore. But now, hopefully you caught me here. Well, I didn't really make a mistake. I knew this was coming. But anyway, hopefully you still caught this. So that would mean, you're understanding very well. But anyway, as you can see, this line goes from quadrant 4, or from quadrant 2 to quadrant 4, and that means it is negative. So our whole slope here is just -5 over 2. Okay, now let's find our y-intercept. Well, conveniently, we already did this at the beginning, because this is the point we picked. So what is our b value? I'm just going to say b right here, so it's going to be easier for your equation. So our m value was here, -5 over 2. Our b value is, it's going to be 0, -5. Okay, now let's write our equation. So, like I said earlier, here, you're always going to have y equals. So it's going to be y equals, then mx. You have mx here, but our m is our slopes, so let's fill that in. So it's going to be, okay, wrong color, sorry. So let's put -5 over 2, and then the x, because we don't have an x value here. In this equation, you always have your x, and you always have y equals, and then you always have your x. And then plus b. Well, how do we put on our b, or y-intercept, if it's a coordinate point? Well, we don't really care about the x value here, because we know it's always going to be 0 in a y-intercept, because it's on the y-axis. So we're just going to take this -5 right here, and that's all we're going to really need. So we're just going to put -5, and that's it. That is our slope-intercept form, or y equals mx plus b equation right here. So let's just do real quick a practice problem to make sure you know it well. Okay. So, let's just do this. So here we see we have our line, and let's just pick 2 points so we can find the slope. Pick here and here. So what are these 2 points? It's just nice to be able to label it. Oh, well, conveniently, I purposely chose the x and y-intercept. So here's our y-intercept, because it's along the y-axis. So we're going to have here 0, -4, and then right here we're going to have 5, 0, which is our x-intercept. So this is our y-intercept. It's our x-intercept. So now let's find our m value, or slope. So to do that, it is rise over run. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 for our rise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is just going to be 4 over 5 here. 4 over 5. So that is our m value. Then, what is our y-intercept? Well, we know it is 0, negative 4, because it is on our y-axis, and we already chose it as a point. So, our y-intercept is 0, negative 4. Now, let's put this all into the, hopefully you remember, y equals mx plus b equation. Typically, it's pretty easy to remember. So, let's just write in. Well, we know always our y equals our 4 over 5 for m, always the x, and then the b. And we don't care about this 0 because it's always going to be a 0 for y-intercepts. So we only care about this, so we're just going to do minus 4 here. And that's really it. That's our final answer. And that is slope-intercept form, or really commonly referred to also as y equals mx plus b form. So make sure you know as well, guys, it's really a lot of stuff about slope, and slope is very important. A lot of stuff in slope is just really it's going to be using y equals mx plus b, the slope-intercept form equation. So make sure you know as well. Let's do a quick review. So we found our slope using rise over run. And then we found our slope can also be labeled as m. Then we found our y-intercept on our y-axis, which can also be labeled as b and is in our equation. Then we just put our equation together. We always have y equals. Then we always have our m, which is negative 5 over 2, so minus 5 over 2. Always have our x there. And then we're just going to add our b value, or which is really going to be the y value, in the y-intercept. So that's minus 5. And that's really it. You can always just pause the video and do the practice problem again if you want to review. And yeah.